Let me put this into perspective for the Cape Coral and Fort Myers area for you. They have actively listed for condos and townhouses 4,351 listings. I don't even care how many they had last year. Let me tell you how many they sold out of 4,351 listings. They sold 370 last month, guys. That's not good. You know what I mean? Welcome back, guys. I am down here in Punta Gorda Isles today, which I believe is becoming, if it has not already, one of the epicenters for price corrections here in Southwest Florida. This is all a waterfront neighborhood, so that runs its own challenges. But as you guys have seen from some of my price reduction videos, it's not uncommon to see houses sell 20 and even 25% under their asking prices here. And when you're up in the 1.5, 1.7 million and you start closing closer to 1.2 million, that's kind of drastic. And it's been going on for a year. I did just get the entire state of Florida's numbers. I'm gonna go over a few of those for single family homes and condos as well. Inventory is getting a little sketchy statewide. It's echoing what I saw in this area last year. So, you know, we're looking at 4-5 months supply for single family homes in most of the state. That's how it started here as well, before all these drastic price cuts. It started with 3 to 4 months of supply, and then season came and all of a sudden we had 10. And it was like, oh my God, everybody rushed to sell for various reasons. You guys know the insurance concerns. To hold these properties has become very, very expensive. Just, you know, first off, if you're buying at 1.5 million, your taxes are gonna be pretty rough. But then you could have 7,000 to 12,000 additional on home insurance potentially. You know, that's what some people are seeing. And that's also why a lot of people have listed and decided, okay, maybe it's time to sell. Now, this area is one of the harder hit areas, obviously, but there is no denying across Southwest Florida, we are seeing price corrections at this time due to our massive inventory rises. There's just no way around it, guys. Prices that people were getting even a year ago, just a year ago, are unattainable on a lot of properties now. It's shifted quickly. 2022 prices are out the window. I think most people around here have kind of got that memo though. And if you know, you're still up, you're up, and they've adjusted accordingly. But it's really shocking when some people see that even a year ago, we're not gonna get those prices anymore, just because there's way too much competition. So as far as Southwest Florida goes, I think that that's gonna continue. I think Punta Gorda is going to continue to have problems here selling properties because the price and the carrying cost is just too much for most people, especially if you're just looking to retire or do the snowbird thing. And they are just still building them everywhere, guys. As you can see, brand new. We'll pass a couple more on these streets that they're just building brand new houses, and existing sellers are asking new home prices. So why would you, barring location, ever take an existing house that's going to cost you 10 times what it would to carry the new construction? You wouldn't do it. And that's what a lot of people are doing, and builders are stepping in like this, and they're taking advantage of that. They're doing it all over the county. It's not just, there's another one right there across the canal. They're not just doing it here in Punta Gorda Isles. Builders are explosively building, and they are beating out the competition. And that's without even their incentives. Just pricing and new homes are making them way more attractive. I always like this house. That's so cute. It's just so cool, man. Japanese style stands out. It's funny because this whole area used to be an HOA. They dissolved it, but you don't see many like that. So we all kind of know the situation in Southwest Florida. What's going on statewide? I was able to finally get June's numbers from the Board of Realtors. They put them out extremely late, usually the 18th, but this time it was closer towards the 23rd. I got my hands on them. And we are seeing inventory increases across the state of Florida that have not produced really price contraction yet, but this could be the start of a bigger trend like I saw here last year. I put a video out last year, November actually, called Florida Homeowners are running for the exits. And everybody said, you're crazy, you're nuts, because I saw what was happening. I saw the slow inventory build here that eventually exploded, and people told me I was nuts. Same thing with condos. I said, listen, condos are about to explode. They're gonna list all these condos because of the new laws, and investors at the same time were pulling out of Florida. They were like, nope, I'm not doing this. Too cost prohibitive, can't make money. So you combined all those things together, and you can kind of see what's happening another new construction, guys. I'm on the same block, and there's a couple of new build houses I'll walk by here. So, you know, those kind of things converging have put us where we are. It started in Southwest Florida because we had the additional bonus of getting hit by Hurricane Ian, and a lot of people were like, no way, I'm out of here. But now it seems like it's kind of starting to happen all across the state. So for the month of June, for single family homes, the state of Florida saw an increase in listings of 60% year over year. That's enormous statewide, guys. That brings their month supply up to 4.6 months of supply. That's a 64% increase. It was only 2.8 months of supply last year. So it's a combination of more people listing, because we have 60% more listings, but less people buying overall because sales were actually down 11% statewide. All these things starting to converge statewide is going to make an interesting fall, especially with the election, especially with the rates, whatever they're going to do with those. My personal opinion, if you're just starting to see meaningful inventory increase and any meaningful price decrease or even stability, I don't think it's a great time to start slamming rates down, but we'll see what they do. So single family home listings in the state of Florida have exploded, but they are still just above pre-pandemic levels. They're just back to 2020 levels, and they were kind of low in 2020, guys. Prices were still going up. We only have 4.3 months of supply. That's pretty much a seller's market, you know, statewide, but when you see it go from 2.8 to 4.3 in the matter of a year, is that trend going to continue? Is it going to be 8 next year? Because that's how it's going for condos and townhomes. So I pulled the entire state of Florida's condo and townhome sales for June of 2024. Again, these are from the Florida Association of Realtors, and wowzers. You know, we've been seeing this happen consistently, the inventory growth, but the number of listings is up 91% statewide. That's insane. I just told you 60 was insane for single family homes. This is a 91% increase on your condo and townhome inventory, sticking the state of Florida at 7.4 months of supply, putting the entire state in what is technically a buyer's market. Supply has well exceeded demand currently because the closed sales for the month of June for condos and townhomes were down a whopping 20% from the previous year. Guys, that's insane. So, you know, I think the condo and townhome market, mostly condos, because even people who are looking at condos are shifting over to townhomes. I don't like that they bracket them together in the stats. You can't separate them on their reports. I can do it internally, and I will do a report on that. But a lot of people looking at condos like, man, you got to give me such a sweet deal to take this, or we're not even going to talk about it. We'll just go get a townhouse or a villa, you know, a duplex is what most people will know that as, just a side-by-side, because they're not subject to the same kind of rules, and the new construction ones are great. So that's really leaving a lot of condo sellers who didn't heed the warning, you know, are now realizing, oh my God, I got to get out of this. It's bankrupting me. It's almost too late at this point. All right, guys, and since I'm talking new construction, specifically condos, this is one of the only games in town in Southwest Florida that gives you dock access with these condo townhomes. This is Sea Haven, right off Marion Avenue in Punta Gorda. These are 3-story condos. They are 1,900 square feet approximately, so they're pretty big. You get a 1-car garage. Every single one of these buildings, guys, has an elevator that goes all the way up to the 3rd floor. Everyone gets a private dock, well, not a private dock, but their own slip and a private elevator. So that's pretty cool. Taylor Morrison is building these. I'll show you the dock area, and I will take you through one of them. All right, guys, so they got 36 units total here. This is their dock area. You can see Marion Ave is right behind me. 30 of these will come with a deeded dock slip. I'm being told something like the corner here with a dock with a water view, it's going to run you close to 900 currently, but there's not a lot like this going on in Southwest Florida right now. I'll give them that. All right, guys, so you got 3 stories, your garage is on the ground floor. I don't often get to go into places like this in Florida, so I'm pretty pumped. Have your garage right here. It's a 1-car, but you got a lot of space for garbage cans there. Ton of space in the back for storage, little area under the stairs, and this is your personal elevator. That's cool. Back to the entryway. Going to take you up to the second floor. Technically, your kitchen and living area is up here with some additional bedrooms. The pool is going to be right there when it's finished, so you'll overlook the pool. Your living area and kitchen, it's got a nice single deep sink. I like that. And there is that elevator again. Come on, guys, that's pretty cool. I'll take you through the guest bath here. You got a regular, just stand-up shower. This is technically being called a den, but it does have a closet. You can really do whatever you want in here. Could be a 4-bedroom. There's 2 upstairs. And then you have the primary. So we'll get you to the 3rd floor here. Again, there's your elevator coming in. Little overlook over the stairs. The rooms, guest rooms are a little tight, but they'll get it done. Into your guest bathroom up here. Back down the hall, you have your laundry right next to your primary bedroom on the 3rd floor here with you. This is your primary. I think it's a really good size. I like the view out the windows as well. And we'll take you through the primary bath. Pretty decent size here as well. You have your privacy toilet right there on the left and your walk-in closet. And that's gonna do it. And honestly, those state numbers for condos and townhomes are not too bad. That's, 7.4 months inventory. When you take a look at Naples, they have 12.7 months of inventory. It's crazy. Like that's nuts. And it's just because of the buyer pullback and there's better options out there and people are looking at the carrying costs, guys. They're not going to pay these crazy carrying costs with the prices you wanted from 2 years ago. And this is a great example in this area. Most of the condos here in Punta Gorda Isles are water view, water adjacent. And they've seen a lot of their HOA fees go from $400 up to $1,200, especially if they're over 3 stories, which has destroyed the values they were getting 2 years ago. I mean, we're talking 20, 30% corrections because now it costs so much more to carry this condo. And of course, it's not just Naples, guys. Cape Coral getting hit with 130% months of supply increases well year over year. They're sitting up there pretty high. They have, let me put this into perspective for the Cape Coral and Fort Myers area for you. They have actively listed for condos and townhouses 4,351 listings. I don't even care how many they had last year. Let me tell you how many they sold out of 4,351 listings. They sold 370 last month, guys. That's not good. You know what I mean? Their demand is cratered as well. They're down 20% year over year, but I think it's gonna continue to escalate until the prices dramatically change to make these things worth carrying. And the assessments and the insurance aren't the only issue here, guys. It's the age of these things. Like a lot of people, this goes for single family homes and condos. It's not just here, it's all over the country. A lot of people don't realize a house built in 2004 is 20 years old, guys. That's an old house. It needs, if you haven't kept up on it, you haven't done maintenance, you haven't upgraded any of the appliances or the flooring, everything's out of style. Everything's gotta go. God forbid you haven't done the roof. That's gotta go. And people don't consider that. Oh, I'm gonna act like I didn't walk down here on purpose, but I actually sold this house in November, guys. Glad to see people are enjoying it. Yeah, this is waterfront. This is one bridge out, so, kind of a pricey thing, but just wanted to say, hey, I sold that. Okay, you have a 2004 house. It's perfectly serviceable. It's perfectly fine. It served you very well, but you haven't done anything to it for 20 years. You can't get top dollar for that. And for a while you could slap, I mean, I hate to say it, guys, these things could be falling over. You could slap any price tag you wanted on these houses and you would get it. But now, with all this increased competition, it's just not gonna happen. And like I said, it's single family or condos. So condos, you've almost gotta be a little more cautious because it's not just your unit. You have to wonder, was my unit updated? Did they take care of everything internally? Has the association taken care of the entire condo complex? Have all the facilities been maintained? Is everything up to code? How is the roof? Things like that. So it gets even murkier when you start to consider, when condos have to be remodeled and they've seen better days, what does the rest of the association got going on? The good news here, at least, is that sellers, as I've mentioned, are starting to get it. They're like, okay, 2022 prices are gone. I can still make a decent nut. But some of them are surprised how far they've come from the 2022 prices. Like I said around here, guys, it's not uncommon to see 25% less than what they were listed for 2 years ago. And I had a house in Northport that I probably would have sold for over $700,000 in 2022. I mean, that would have been the high end, but I think I could have got it. And I took a look at it the other day and I'm like, pull all the comps. I'm like, oh man, 550? I don't know. So when you tell a seller that and they're aware that at one point they could have got $700,000 and now they're looking at 550, even though they're still up, that is a hard pill to swallow. I get it. And a lot of you are going to say, oh, they're greedy, this and that. I know. I get it. But when you're like, man, that's 150 out the door. If I would have acted at a different point, it would keep you up at night. I guarantee it. So it is a bit of a reality check for sellers who've done no updates and now still want top dollar. It's like, hey, sorry, that's not going to happen anymore. There's just too many other options out there. And I got to be honest with you, even if you've just meticulously, you'll see that in a lot of listings, meticulously maintained your home, you've done all the updates, you've kept it just tippy top technology wise, it's a real gem. Everything, all the new styles, all the new colors are in it. It still may not be able to command anywhere near the top dollar it once would, because they're building brand new ones everywhere. And I had said this was going to happen as well. I said new construction is going to come in and it's going to start devastating the resale market. And that's exactly what we're seeing, whether it's here in waterfront areas or out in the middle of nowhere and just flat land, no water access. New construction is really putting a beating on the resale market, and they are starting to pull back, but I still think they built too much right now. So we'll see how the rest of the year shakes out for new home permits down here. But they're still going strong. Maybe not as strong as they were a few months ago, but enough to keep putting a dent in this resale market. So poetry in motion, guys. The question becomes, how do you sell this house for $1.2 million when you go across the street and this brand new one will be 1.2, just using, in factual numbers here, but you guys get my drift. They're building these things everywhere. How do the older homes compete? They can't, and the prices are being adjusted. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.